Hi, my name is Chef Kris Saradpon, and I am the Culinary Arts Facilitator at Grossmont College. First, I want to give a big shout out to the Asian Pacific Islander Committee at Grossmont College for inviting me to celebrate Filipinx History Month. Here I will be making a Filipino national dish called chicken adobo. Traditionally, Filipinos would marinate meats in clay pots with vinegar, such as pork and wild fowl, which were native to the Philippines, in order to act as a preservative in the humid tropical climate. When the Spaniards arrived, they brought cattle to the archipelago. Now, before anyone watching this throws a fit, I must state this disclaimer that every province and every family has their own unique way of making adobo. Whether chicken or pork or beef or seafood or vegetables are used, this will not taste like your mom's or your grandmother's or your nanay's or your lola's, okay? But with a bowl of rice, this will still be delicious. Lastly, I will put my own spin on it by smoking the wings in my pellet smoker to add a touch of smokiness and richness to the beloved classic. I hope you enjoy and get the chance to make this yourselves. All right, to get started, I'm going to take half an onion. Just cut the root ends off. Cut it in half. Get rid of that. Just going to take the peel off. So you want to make sure to take all the peel that is tough and fibrous, because none of that will cook down. While that's happening, I preheated my pan right here to get it started. And I personally like to trim off the little root end, just because when you cook it, it still is very tough and no one likes to eat it. I'm going to just do a nice slice, thin slice. Right, all right. So I got that hot. I'm just going to add it to the pan. You'll hear it sizzle. You should see it smoking a little bit. If it's smoking too high, you want to take the pot off so it doesn't burn. All right. I also got a little bit of water over here in case it starts to caramelize too fast. I'm going to turn up the heat. You can do it over medium heat. Just keep an eye on it. If you love butter like I do, you could use butter. That'll be totally fine. Next, we're going to take some garlic. This is very classic to adobo. So the flavor profile here that we're going for is, of course, garlic, either white vinegar or apple cider vinegar, some sort of acid or vinegar. We have soy sauce, and then we also have some bay leaves or laurel leaves, and then black peppercorns. There's about a teaspoon or 10 whole peppercorns. I'm adding fish sauce and onions. That I know is not in every family recipe, but I like to kick it up a notch. So I'm going to get the garlic. So we just want to get some color on this, and the reason why I'm sauteing this is I want the flavors to meld. And then I'm just going to add salt, sprinkle up high, all right, to the onions, and then help get the cooking process started. Just going to add a touch of water to help steam it. If you add too much liquid, it won't caramelize as quickly. You're going to have to wait for all of it to reduce. So I just noticed the pan was getting a little too hot for my liking, so just hit it with a splash of water. Just want to crush it. If you love garlic like me, then you could use probably 2 whole heads. If you're not really a garlic fan, you probably won't like this. I'm just kidding. Just use about 2 cloves then. But I'm going to be generous with the garlic because I love garlic. You could use crushed garlic or have a crusher on you, but I do highly recommend using fresh garlic for this recipe. And notice how I only salted the onions. I'm probably not going to use salt at this point just because there's a lot of saltiness in the soy sauce. So you always want to be cognizant of that when you're using, salty items such as soy sauce or pickled items. And then if you have the really tough part of the root of the garlic, you just want to trim it. About 6 or 7 cloves will do. All right. Just want to keep an eye on the onions while I'm getting the garlic ready. All right. So you can tell that they're starting to get some color. So I'm just going to slice this. All right. If you don't feel comfortable slicing it, get a garlic press or just buy the already minced garlic. Garlic's going in as well. You might be asking, well, what happens if I don't have a smoker or a pellet smoker? You could use your grill. You could do what's called an offset. For a lot of the round traditional barbecue grills, you would just put half your coals on one side, so that way the wings could smoke off indirect heat on the other side. And I'm going to spray my grill to make sure that the wings don't stick. All right. I just want to get some color and caramelization on the garlic and onions. So anytime you brown vegetables or fruits, that's considered caramelization because they have natural sugars. If you are searing meats like chicken or a really nice steak, that is technically called the Maillard reaction. So that is a chemical reaction happening with the proteins and amino acids. So once I get some color on that, which is looking pretty good, I'm just going to add all the ingredients except for the chicken. So to go over the recipe again, we add half an onion, about 6 or 7 cloves of garlic, and then we have the 12 chicken wings. These are all flats for those flat fans. We have vinegar, about 1/3 of a cup, about 1/4 of a cup of soy sauce, and then about a tablespoon of patis or fish sauce, and then 1 or 2 bay leaves, and about 10 whole peppercorns. And for garnish, I'm going to use a green onion and jalapeno. Not a lot of dishes overall for Filipino cuisine have a lot of spice. There are certain regions that are known for their spicy foods, but this is one of the Southeast Asian cuisines that doesn't have like this tremendous heat. Filipino food and cuisine tends to have a lot of, depending on what region, a lot of fried, a lot of saltiness, a lot of sour or vinegar flavors, and it's all good though. So now's a good time. I'm going to add the vinegar. Another great reason why I'm outside is because this is going to start to smell really, really strong inside your home. So if you want to do it outside, that's perfectly fine. A lot of families actually have what's called a quote-unquote dirty kitchen, where they have a burner outside in their backyard, so when they fry fish, it doesn't make the whole house smell like fried fish. All right, we got our fish sauce, our 2 bay leaves, and whole black peppercorns. So we're just gonna heat that up, get the flavors to meld, and then reduce it, let it cool, and then I'm going to add it to a Ziploc bag and put the chicken wings with it and let it marinate for at least 30 minutes. This is a great way to prep ahead if you want to do it the night before and the next day either smoke it or fry it or bake it. All right. So I'm trying to just reduce it by either 3/4 to half. So while we're doing that, I'm just gonna get the green onions. On a bias, I'm just gonna slice it. This will be used for a garnish. So we're gonna just let this cook down a little bit and then let it cool and add it to the chicken. All right, folks. So we got the marinade. I put it in a Ziploc over here. I have my glass container just to catch it while it marinates. And then I got the chicken wings, 11, 12, all right? This is gonna serve me, probably. I could eat a lot of wings. For my friends and family that know me, they know that I could eat. Okay? I love to eat. I love good food, like many of you. Zip this up, all right? You wanna compress all the air out of it, just so the marinade can get into it, all right? And we're back. Thanks for joining us, guys. So we've marinated the wings for at least 30 minutes. You could marinate it in the fridge, you know, between 30 minutes to, I would say, 2 days, and then cook it by then. Adobo is one of the few dishes that gets better with time. Adobo and lasagna are my 2 favorites that the next day, the flavors just meld even more and penetrate and it just tastes even that much more delicious. All right, so I got my smoker, and then I'm just going to spray it real quick. Spray the grates to create a non-stick surface. And then got my chicken, and then I'm going to do the skin side down. Anytime you're grilling or smoking or putting food on a hot grill, you always want to put the skin side that has the fat down first. All right, that's what we in the biz call the presentation side. I'm going to smoke these for about, I'm going to check on them in 30 minutes. It'll probably take anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour. The leftover marinade, I'm actually going to heat back up and reduce. I know a lot of recipes say not to reuse the marinade because of the possibility of cross-contamination from the raw chicken. So that's why I want to make sure that it boils. Water will boil at 212 degrees. Salmonella will be destroyed at 165 degrees. So you could do the math. And if it looks like you don't have enough liquid, you could just add more water. All right? And the reason I'm adding more water is just so it won't reduce too quickly. All right? See you in about 30 to 45 minutes. So it's been about 45 minutes and the chicken is done. Ooh, looks delicious. So I'm just gonna, and then I got the marinade that I boiled for at least, you want to make sure it boils for at least 5 minutes to kill any pathogens. And then that's just going on top. And then the green onions that we sliced for garnish. And bon appetit. All right. And thanks for watching.